Hello? It's okay? I am audible? Hello?
Yes, Romaji.
Aaj. Namaskar. Good evening and Happy New Year. I would like to welcome you all in the session Cyber Security and Sensitization. We are live to go. Thank you to AHO, especially Shilu ma'am and Dr. Sujoy Joshi for allowing us to start a session on cybercrime. We are grateful for that. You all know the session is very important for us because nowadays our best friend is mobile, tab, and laptop. So we always want our best friends stay fit and secure. So we start this session with our cyber guru, Rajyasree Rai Chaudhuri. Rajyasree is already with us. I request Vishwajyoti Bagchi, our honorable dignitarian. Vishwajyoti da, you please welcome and introduce Rajyasree with all of us. So over to Vishwajyoti Bagchi. Vishwajyoti da, you please introduce and welcome Rajyasree with all of us. Thank you
Thank
all.
you, Ruma. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Ruma, can you hear me?
Yes.
You're audible.
Yes.
Namaskar. I have the honor to invite Advocate Rajyasree Rai Chaudhuri to start a discussion in the topic cyber safety and sensitization. Sri Rai Chaudhuri is an advocate of Calcutta High Court and a cyber lawyer, speaker, and an author. He is the founder director of Cyber Guru Institute for Cyber Legal Training and Consultancy. Mr. Rai Chaudhuri is a visiting faculty of Northeast Police Academy, Meghalaya, and Police Training School, Kolkata. He is the guest faculty cyber business laws at Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, and he also visits the prime colleges as a guest lecturer on his prime subject. I am honored to invite Mr. Rajyasree Rai Chaudhuri. The members Calcutta can recall that we had a beautiful session with Mr. Rai Chaudhuri at the University, Jadavpur University auditorium. It was a packed auditorium, and we learned so many things from him in the shortest possible time. So, may I call upon Mr. Rajyasree Rai Chaudhuri to start his delivery and his experience so that we can enlighten ourselves to keep ourselves safe from the fraudulent activity in the net. Over to Mr. Rajyasree Rai Chaudhuri. Thank you.
Namaskar, everyone. Namaskar to all dignitarians uh, who are present here. Namaskar to the person who has introduced myself, and namaskar to Rumadi. Thank you, Rumadi, so much for inviting me in this session. It is really a beautiful session, and it's a national uh, representation of the organization. So it is many people are listening this. So I am very happy to uh, give my speech there. Uh, am I audible and visible? Can anyone say that I am audible and visible properly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm just starting today's program. So before that, today's issue is cybersecurity and sensitization. So the first thing is, what is cybersecurity, and moreover, what is actually the term cyber? Why it is important? Number one, the word cyber means anything which is connecting to computer, internet, and network is called the cyber. So whatever is connected to that, that is called the cyber. So the cyber, the crimes relating to this issue is called the cyber crimes. The issues relating to this are called the cyber affairs. The police station relating to this is called the cyber police station. So anything relating to this topic will be called as a cyber. So the first thing is this, and let us be very clear in this issue that India has introduced an very important law which is called the Information Technology Act of 2000. That is obviously in the year 2000, India has introduced a law, and that law is obviously a very interesting and important aspect, and moreover very useful for our day-to-day lives, because this law has got several aspects to be decided, and that has already decided many things. Many problems have been decided by this law. The basic thing what we should discuss about this law is this law is actually called a global law. Why I'm telling this, I'll be telling in the later part of the session. This law, whenever we'll be talking about this Information Technology Act, this Information Technology Act applies to the whole of India, including the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and it applies to every citizen of the India, including every citizen of the globe, whoever tries to do something wrong with the Indian, computer and computer system. So every citizen of the globe comes within the purview of this law whenever somebody tries to make some problem with the computer and computer system which is located in India. So this is in one aspect we called as a global law. That is very interesting and important. And this law, this only law is there in India, which has got such a global aspect. And the basic purpose of this law is to replace the paper-based method of communication, what we have already moving forward. Most of the things have been turned digitized, and we are moving towards a digital lifestyle. During this pandemic situation, we have already faced this problem, and right now we are moving towards a digitization, a complete digitization. That may be for our work, that may be for our entertainment, that for anything, that for the studies of the kids. So everybody is moving digitized, and the computer, internet, mobile, laptop, tablet, these are the things which have turned an indispensable thing in our day-to-day life. So whenever these things came into existence, they came into our lives in a regular format and in a very frequency, with a very large frequency, what happens? That the crimes have started increasing day by day. Today, I was just listening to a speaker who is a very higher profession, a higher rank in Delhi police. He was also telling that the cyber crimes are increasing in a very alarming ratio. So it is actually a fact that uh, these crimes are gradually these are growing up, and the problem with us is we are not very much sensitized about those issues, especially when the issues of kids and the issues of age-old persons come in front of us. We find that many people are not sensitized in these issues, and many people are uh, being defrauded by these fraudsters with a very minute sort of a thing. Okay, so if we just move towards the cybersecurity feature, one thing that has been incorporated in the banner, which is there in for today's program, is called the cyber psychology. Why it is there? This is very important and interesting, because if you just scan whatever the crimes what are happening around us, what we will find that very common types of crimes are happening around us, and those crimes are happening maybe in some different ways. This is a very interesting matter. Very commonly used cyber crimes are like hacking, phishing, stalking, uh, uh, then the impersonation, cheating by impersonation. So these types of crimes are very common. Fraudulent behavior, the financial frauds using those computer systems. So these are very common types of cyber crimes around us. And if we just clarify these common types of cyber crimes, we will find that the crimes which are happening around us are not very much technical. What these criminals are doing, they are just taking advantage of two things. Number one, our psychology, and number two, our less sensitization over the issue. So the basic two aspects are to be decided by us, and the basic two aspects are to be kept into mind. That first of all, the uh, I'm just asking the organizers. Uh, three people waiting entered. 3-4 people entered the waiting room. Can you please remove this window? I mean, every time it's coming in front of me. Yeah, now it's fine. So the first thing is, there are two aspects. Number one, that it is a matter of sensitization, that we are not perfectly sensitized, or we are not sufficiently sensitized about what is happening around us. And number two is how to use this computer and computer system and networks. So these are the basic things are to be understood. From the very beginning, if we just go through the very from the morning good morning message till the good night message, I'm just going through the phase of our daily life. If we can clarify the whole daily life, that what we are using actually, the first thing we do after getting up in the morning is we search for the mobile. This is number one. So the first thing what we do is we search for the mobile, and first we go on checking that who has sent the good morning messages or who has sent some messages to. This is number one. So the first is the dependence upon upon this technology. Whenever there is a dependence on this technology, what is happening? That we are doing certain things without thinking. This is number one. Number two is, whenever we are doing certain things without thinking, that means suppose somebody has sent me a good morning message or a GIF file or something like that, or a video, whatever. What I am doing, I'm just clicking on the download button. I'm just downloading the entire photograph or video or GIF or any other things what have been sent to me. Maybe a kind of a app request or something like that. And after that, when I am doing that, what is happening? That we are downloading something. So whenever we are downloading something, it has got an immense possibility that it can download some malware also. And what is this malware all about? This is nothing but a computer software which has got a malintention. And what these malintentions are? These malintentions are maybe of a different types. One can go for a adding, that is called adware. One application can go for a spying us, that is called a spyware. And there are certain malwares. What these malwares are doing, they are just entering into our system, and they are taking the charge of our entire system, and they are taking every data we have in the device. And this data is going far beyond us, and this is going to some other place in some other's hand whom we don't know. So the first thing first, we have to do that we have to make a privacy setting properly good. A good privacy setting. What is to be done? That this privacy setting is to prevent us of auto downloading. So all the auto download options that may be in WhatsApp, that may be in Messenger, that may be in any other social networking apps, we have to turn off this auto download option. Okay. So first of all, we just make it sure that we have made it off the auto download option, so it diminishes the risk of the malwares getting automatically installed into our system. Done. Number two. Then let us come to number three. After getting up, what we do, we just go on in the browsing. We just go on browsing things, or maybe we have to make some payments. So in this payment, what is happening, that the payment softwares are coming. These payment softwares may be for the purpose, payment softwares may be the UPI sites. These may be our net banking facilities. So what is happening? Number one, we have to understand the applications, what we are using. If it is a Paytm, if it is a, I mean the Phone Pay or a Google Pay, whatever. What we have to do, we just have to understand what is the functionalities of those applications and what are the safety features it is providing. Inherently, it is provided. Most of the people around us are receiving SMSs or receiving mails from Paytm in the name of Paytm or in the name of any other UPI applications, like your Paytm KYC is not updated. So this is the phone number and this is the link. You have to update your Paytm KYC, otherwise you cannot access the Paytm. What is happening? People are calling those numbers, and whenever those numbers have been called, some person is telling is, yes, I am from Paytm. So these are called the phishing. So this phishing can be of two types. Number one, somebody can ask you to get phished. The spelling of this phishing is PHISHIN. It's not phishing like fishing in the water. So this phishing is something different, and whenever people are getting calls from the phishers that I am talking from the bank, I am the bank manager. This is a very common type of crime which has already happened with many of you, I think. So I am the bank manager. I am your card will be blocked. Your bank account will be deactivated. Your credit card will be not in use. So all these issues have been addressed. And after that, and when they are addressing it, what they are doing, they are giving you a dar. That means they are giving you the matter of fear. The ingredient is the, what is the psychology behind this? They're giving you some ingredient of fear, that what will happen again. I have to go to the bank again. I have to uh, stand in a long queue. I have to fill up a form. I have to give all the details. I have to make photocopies. And again, in this pandemic situation, I have to go to the bank and uh, give a queue. So these all things are coming inside our mind, and what we are doing, we are thinking, okay, if it is possible online, then why don't we do it? So we just go on giving information to that person, and that person taking the advantage of this fear factor, and we are not ready to take hassles. So the comfort level. So for the comfort level, what this guy is doing, this guy is taking advantage of that and taking out every details from you, and ultimately they are taking money from your bank. So the first thing is, we have to be very much sure. Must be very much cool headed, and we should understand what we are doing. Every time the banks, financial institutions, everybody is telling that we don't call the customers and ask for your details. So the simple formula is this: bank does not ask for all your personal details. So whoever is asking for your personal details is not the bank, but the fraudster. So this much information, if we can, this much strategy, if we can handle, then what happens? That we are safe in our day-to-day lives. We can save our finance. in this during this end of your life, or maybe after the retirement, or maybe during the work, what is happening that we are earning something for ourselves, for our family, for our future, for our medical expenses, for everything. We are earning for that, and by a single phone call we are losing everything. So we have to be very much cautious so that we can protect our money, we can protect our wealth and become secured. Okay, so we should understand how to protect it. So the first thing what has come is the fear factor. Then comes a very interesting issue that is called the anand, that means happiness. Everybody wants that. So what is happening? Taking advantage of this psychology of a person, when the when the person is receiving a phone call or an SMS that you have won 25 lakh in KBC or something like that. On the last occasion, on just 2 days back, I have received a call from a person, from an old person who is he is over 74 years of age, a state government employee. He has lost 3.4 lakhs of rupees only for this purpose. Thus, he has been received a call that you have won 25 lakh rupee from KBC, and for that, first this is called the Jamtara model. That first they will try for the 10,000 slab. They will ask for 9,900. If it is okay, if it is cleared, 9,900, that means you have at least 10,000. Okay. Number two, what comes, that whenever they get these 9,900, they will check for 15,000 या 20,000 slab. ये लोग ऐसा चलता रहेगा. I mean, ये जो slab है, ये slab को लेके इन लोग चलता रहेगा. This is called the Jamtara model. And by this model, they are taking the sequences of transactions. He has made sequences of transactions. Every time they ask for the details, and the person is given the details, and his money goes out from the bank account. So finally, when he realized that he's been he defrauded, that what has happened? He lost 3 lakh 40,000. So this is a very important issue, that we are very happy certain point of time by these small issues which are given in this social networking sites, or maybe by a particular person. That may be that may be a SMS, that may be a phone call, that may be an email. You can receive this data that you have won those money. Who doesn't want this 25 lakh? Everybody wants. So the people are getting excited. They are losing their tempers. They're losing their uh, decision making power. That what is to be done? Is it proper? Is it right? And people are falling prey for that. So be very cautious whenever you receive all these types of calls. Number three, what I will really like to tell in this particular point of time, that is calls, SMSs, and emails. So the phishing is normally done when the phishing is done by the fishers directly to you. What happens? That either the fisher calls you, or the fisher sends you an SMS, or the fisher sends you an email. I mean, SMS and WhatsApp included, SMS, WhatsApp, and all these texting sites. And after that, they send you an email. So maybe in three forms, maybe in all three forms, or maybe separate, they can just send you the options. What option? That you can go for a early bird registration, or you can go for a registration of the COVID vaccination. This is another type. So why COVID vaccination? So the question comes, why COVID vaccination? Why this COVID vaccination situation? When COVID came, what happened? That people were, in many cases, people were defrauded by going to the sites where they can get the latest COVID information. So there was no vaccine at that point of time. So what happened? These guys made certain sites and they have installed those, the uh, uh, malwares, or they have made us install those malwares into our system by giving the links. And those links were for the COVID latest information. We're not banking upon the information of the government. We have got a concept that the government is giving us wrong information. Maybe or may not be, but we are depending on the other informations we want to get, and those informations may be for the malware. Suppose it is possible that those malwares have already been installed into your system, but the effect you have not yet realized. That is also possible. That maybe you have clicked on a link. That link has installed a malware into your system, but the money is safe, but the data is safe. How do you know that your data is safe? It has not gone to other place. How do you know? Because it is copied, so you don't lose data. What happens? Your data stays to you. Just a copy of that data goes to some other place. Okay. So क्या हो रहा है कि ये जो आदमी लोग कर रहे हैं, they are just sending us information. They are just in the name of the COVID information. Many people were defrauded. अभी तो वैक्सीन आ गया. सो अभी का सिस्टम क्या होगा? अभी तो इन्फॉर्मेशन देके फायदा कुछ नहीं है. अभी इन्फॉर्मेशन से ज्यादा आदमी तो उसमें क्लिक नहीं करेगा. सो क्या करना पड़ेगा? वी हैव टू गो फॉर अ कोविड वैक्सीनेशन. इसके बाद कोई दूसरा चीज आएगा तो वो लेके पड़ जाएंगे ये लोग. Okay, so what will be? We have to be very cautious about the commonly used daily news, and those news are being used for defrauding. The ways of those news, the effect of those news can be used for defrauding a person. Here comes the psychology matter. Now many people wants to get uh, I mean recognition. This is another thing. Many people want recognition, and for recognition there are many types of frauds are there, that if you do this you'll be recognized in this way, if you do that you will be recognized in that way. So every time there is a condition there. Okay, it is conditioned. So whenever we go to the conditions, what is happening? We are losing our data. And after losing our data, we are losing our money. And these resources, what the data? Now you will ask me, why people take data? This is a very important question. That why? What is the intention behind that? Why people just come to our system and take our their phone book, SMS content, SD card content, and all these photos, videos, banking credentials? Why they take all these data? These data are being used for two purposes. Number one, the first purpose is for market research and survey, and the second purpose is for committing a crime. So maybe it is possible that a person whose data has been leaked. So there is a set of data. Now another person's data is also leaked. Another person's data is also leaked. So the person who is gathering those data, he has got a huge data bank. Maybe he has got a 10 lakh phone numbers. He has got some private pictures of around 20 lakh. So by this way, they create a huge database. And these databases are ready for sale into the gray market of the internet gray market, which is called as the dark web or deep web. So in this dark web and deep web, these data are sold. Whenever it is sold, what happens? That so you will say that who will be the purchaser? suppose my photos and videos and my phone numbers and everything. So what are these important issues? These these are the things what will decide our behavior. This decides our behavior for the market research and survey. So it's a data processing. There are equipments like which have been uh, installed on the traffic signal. There was a camera, and that camera is clarifying those data. Like those cameras are taking those data, like they are taking pictures. They can analyze those pictures. How they analyze those pictures? That what are the categories of cars which are running into the road, into these busy crossing. So what are the categories? What are the price categories of the cars which are running? Who are the persons who are following those traffic rules? Who are the persons who are moving forward, moving from one place to another, moving from one side to another side? Whether they are following the zebra crossing rules. What is their age group? What is the gender of those persons who are more outside? So all these things, these data, they are just gathering those data, and after that they will analyze it. And in that way, a design of the car, a design of the the pricing of the car, everything will be decided. So this is a kind of a market survey or a market research. I'm just given one example. There can be 1,000 examples. Okay. So this is number one. So it may be used for a constructive purpose. So our data, without our knowledge, is being used for some constructive purpose. Okay, for that much we are okay with that. But if somebody takes our data and makes a phone call and says, "Ki, I am the bank manager from so and so bank, and your card is blocked or your credit card is deactivated." So by this way, people are losing money. So this is a fraud. So some people are doing it for a constructive business, some people are doing it for a crime. And for both the reasons, what is the source of the data? The source of the data is our behavior. Why it is so? Because we have to play third-party applications in the Facebook. We have to install I mean, um, untrusted applications from the Play Store or iCloud or the application. We have to click on links which have been sent from any unauthorized source or any untrusted person because of our inquisitiveness. चलो देखते हैं उसमें क्या है. Now by a single click, only by a single click, you can lose each, every and all of your data. That much easy it is. So what we have to do? We have to do something. We have to do this online work very cautiously. Use everything. Somebody is asking that what will be the best possible thing to be used, best possible apps to be used. There is every apps are good. Now, like Just Pay app was compromised. Its database was compromised. Around 10 million data was compromised. So it is beyond your control. It is beyond the control of the users. It is not the user's problem. And what is the frequency of that? It can be a frequency of 1,000. If there are 1,000 cyber crimes, only one cyber crime can happen like this, that a company's database is compromised. And what about the other 999? And these other 999, we are within that. We are within that, those 999 crimes. So what is happening that we are very much concerned about the security of the data or security of the app what we are using. Those apps have spent a huge lot of money only for providing you that service, and that service is not only a service, it's a matter of a trust. Why you give every data to Google? Why you give every data? Why we put every data on Facebook? Why we give every sort of pictures on Instagram? Because we trust them. The basic factor is the trust factor. But we are not using now a company. Suppose I am a developer, I am a software developer. I have created an application that costs me around 5 lakh rupees, okay, maybe 2 lakh rupees. So after that, what I have done, I have just launched into the market, and after some times, my database has been compromised. So what will happen? People will not use those applications. More, no people. If people will not use my applications, what will happen? That I will not get subscriptions. If I don't get subscriptions, I will not attract the advertisers to advertise in my site. So what will happen? It will affect my business only. It will affect my business. So will whether I'll be agreed to do that. So I will invest another 1 lakh rupee for the protection of those data. So the companies who are using it, so the companies who have created those apps, created those sites, created all these things, they are spending a huge lot of money for the security purpose, for the technical security purpose. And what is happening for these 999 crimes? We are using it in a wrong manner. Suppose somebody called me and asked me for the, or somebody asked me for the card number and the CVV behind the card number, the 3-digit card number behind the, which is printed behind the card. Ask for the expiry date, the last 4 digits of our card. So whenever it is asked, we just go on giving those data. It is not the problem with the card company, or it is not the problem with the bank. It is just a behavioral problem. Suppose I have got a padlock which has cost 10 lakh rupees, just a padlock. Okay. So whenever I go out from my place, go out from my house, I just put that 10 lakh rupee padlock in the main door and put the key in front of the door. And what my neighbor does, he has just a 100 rupee padlock, and that 100 rupee padlock, he just locks it and takes the key safely to the pocket. So who is more secured? My question here is, who is more secured? Obviously, the 100 rupee wala, because he has secured the key. And being a owner of the 10 lakh rupee padlock or a 1 lakh rupee padlock, you have failed to secure the key. So what happened? You are more vulnerable. So it is our behavioral problem how these 999 crimes are occurring. And only one crime or two crimes are occurring when the company's security system is getting a flaw. And for that reason, many people are losing their data. That is not the problem with the users. What will happen? Maximum this JustPay will not get a business from tomorrow. Already Flipkart, Amazon, and many people, they have already suspended the JustPay's operation, because through JustPay they were taking money. I mean, from the online transactions. So they have suspended those operations for a certain period of time, when the JustPay will just uh, clarify, or they are just clearing all these doubts and all. After that, what will happen again? He will do his business. after securing the entire security features. So it's a matter of trust what we have already built. These companies have already built. Suppose tomorrow Google says you, okay, I have lost all your data. So what you will do? Will you go to the police station and file a complaint against Google? Or you go to the court and say, oh, sorry, I have got, my lord, I have got 1000 photos there in the Google Drive. I have lost it. So how million people's data is there with Google? Suppose Google loses everything. Possible? Google database has been compromised. Google's data has been erased. So what you will do? But still knowing the fact, you are putting each, every, and all of your data with that company. Why? Because you trust that company blindly. And you know that Google knows you much better than yourself. अचानक आपने ये नोटिफिकेशन नहीं मिलता कि 8 years back this you are in this place today. How it is possible that on 8 years back you have just uploaded those photos, and after 8 years Google has given you a reminder? That means the 8 years back photograph is also stored within the in the Google Drive. They are just giving you a notification. They are just creating videos for you. They are just making animations for you. How it is done? They're just by analyzing those data, by processing those data you have given them. They are just analyzing it and giving you feedback. You are happy with that. But they are taking charge of the world. So we have to be very cautious. We have to be very much sensitized about whatever data we share in the internet. This is very important. So the first, I cannot tell you around 1 lakh processes of, phishing, that these process of phishing, that process of phishing. So somebody has been defrauded by taking the, mobile number. Somebody has been defrauded by giving a phone call. Somebody has been defrauded by an SMS. Somebody is for the COVID vaccine. These are the modus operandi. All these are phishing. Everything falls within the purview of phishing. But these are the mere modus operandi, what these guys are using against you, utilizing your common psychologies. Okay. So if we just go on understanding the basic psychologies those guys are using. So the first thing we have to understand the psychology of the hacker. The psychology of the fisher. Next, we have to understand the psychology of the victim. The first thing is what is the psychology of the hacker or the fisher? It's a plain and simple marketing theory. I have got 100 doors in front of me. I will go on knocking each and every door. I know that 10 door will open for me, and one door will give me my earning. So this is a simple. Who are the businessmen here? Everybody knows that all guys you offer your product or services, everybody doesn't purchase. Who purchases? And what is the ratio? Everybody knows that. So basically, this is a plain and simple and mere marketing theory. And India has got no uh, scarcity with population. So they know that we just go on calling people. Some people will come in front of us and they will say, yes, I will respond. This is the first psychology they have. The second psychology is they are using our psychology of fear. They are using our psychology of hardiness. Each and every time they will call you, you will just identify that they will always be in a very much a hurry. They will not give you time to think. So whenever we are in a great hurry, what happens? We do wrong. Okay. So be very cool. If somebody calls you, even the original bank manager calls you and asks for an information or ask you to give some certain information, be very sure. I'm just giving you a simple example. When I've bought my car, it was a loan from, Bajaj. Sorry, it was maybe from XYZ and company. So when it was a loan, when it is at this XYZ and company, these guy said that after the loan is sanctioned, he will get a verification call from Mumbai office. Fine. Suddenly a call came. Sir, I am calling from XYZ and company. You have got a car loan, and that car loan, what is happening? I am just giving you a verification call. So what is your date of birth, sir? So I said I couldn't find that you are actually from that company because I cannot see you. If you want to verify, you just send your person to my house with a proper ID card. Then I will give every details to you. And you have already have the data with you. So I am not going to give you any further data that what is my date of birth, what is my PAN and all. These are very sensitive information. Date of birth is a very sensitive information. Why it is so? Because you can understand if somebody knows your PAN and date of birth, it is a by default password of your income tax. PAN and date of birth, combination of PAN and date of birth. So it's a by default password. You can change it. Most of the people doesn't change. So by this way, what is happening that we are losing our data. And I have not given that lady a confirmation message that yes, I am the person who she has called. There is no problem with my car loan. Nobody has, मतलब किसी ने कोई कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ पाया मेरा कार लोन का। किसी ने कोई तो कार लोन का स्टॉप नहीं हुआ, कोई ईएमआई का कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ. So what is happening that we are, whatever we are being asked for, we just go on giving you those information. Maybe those information are not actually required, but they are just taking those information for. Suppose you have went to a restaurant. So after your dinner with the bill, you are getting a feedback form. What is this feedback form? Is it safe to search Google for tiny things? Okay, I'm just coming to that point. So हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि इसमें एक feedback form होता है. वो feedback form में everything is there. Starting from my DOB to a marriage anniversary to my spouse name, date of birth, phone number, email ID, address, name, everything is there. Suppose we have filled up those forms. Now, are you very sure that each and every organization are very securely keeping those data with them? No, actually they are selling those data. Okay, so to whom they are selling those data? There are agencies who just give these kinds of a form to these companies, and this company, in the name of the feedback form, they are taking those, and that data is being sold by the company to those companies, and they are getting money out of that. Apart from giving you a good plate of food, they are earning money out of your data also. So what has happened? This company has taken those data, and those companies are deciding that whether they will sell those data to which company. That may be for the for the business development purpose that I'm talking about, the business development purpose and data processing, and also for the phishing purposes. So we have to share the theories, share with care. You have to be very much cautious about what you share. Another very important aspect is you have to lock your phone and your devices. Lock your phone, phone, mobile, laptop, desktop, your tablet. Make it keep a proper password there. And this password theory is also very important because few years after few years, it is possible that this password theory will not be there because OTP is more secured. Password is easy to crack because most of us, what is the most commonly used password, the most commonly used password is the word password itself. So it is very easy to crack. Many people maybe may have given the word password itself as a password. Name, spouse name, every personal details. Name, spouse name, phone number, the last four digit of the phone number, the first four digit of the phone number, the middle digit, the pet name, house name, car name, all these things they have, the school name, college name, girlfriend, boyfriend's name, husband, wife's name, all these given on, all these are given as the password. So what is happening? That these passwords are very important. And while putting the passwords, what you have to do, you have to put the numbers, special characters, and alphabets. Alphabets that too in a caps and small. So a capital letter, small letter, number, special character, and make it a combination of all. Now you will say me ki I forgot what I have ate in my lunch when I was sitting in the dinner. How can I remember all these complicated passwords? Is it not absurd? Very vital question and very cogent question. So the answer is it is very easy to remember. Just take a good piece of paper, just write it down and keep it in your almirah. But don't write on your phone book. Don't keep it inside your phone. That phone is connected to the internet. You can keep those data with your keypad phone. Very safe. But if the phone is connected to the internet and you are doing a social networking site or you are doing a banking site there and you are using whatever you have downloaded and all kinds of social networking sites, it is very risky for you to keep all those sensitive data in those phones. Okay. So be very secured about that. The next is don't absolutely don't be very much panicked if you get a call, if you get a sort of a call. So don't be very much oversure. Don't be very much oversure. Don't be very much panicked. Suppose from today you know me. Suddenly from my email ID or my phone number or my WhatsApp, you have received a WhatsApp message that I am in a grave problem. You just send me this much of money. What you will do? Yes, he is a good man. Obviously he will give me a refund whenever there's problem. Right now he's in a problem. I am just sending you the money. Don't do that. Whenever there is a financial matter, whenever there is a matter of your data, whenever there is, first of all, you have to identify your vulnerability points. And these vulnerability points. They don't be very much oversure that that is the person only. Make a cross check. Give a call. If he doesn't receive your call, don't send money. If he doesn't give you a confirmation that yes, it is he or it is she, don't send money. whoever he is, whatever be the problem. Okay. Next is be very sure about what you are using in your phone. If you have got different types of applications which have not been used for the last 6 months, just shred those applications. Just make a deletion of those applications. Delete from your phone. आपका phone भी बचेगा, आप भी बचोगे. Okay. So be very sure that your phone is clean and clear. And always in your phone, in your device rather, not only in the phone, laptop, desktop, tablet, always use a licensed antivirus and anti-malware software. Licensed antivirus and anti-malware. Nothing in this world comes free. Nothing in this world comes free. So what these free versions are doing? Number one, these free versions are making an ad of their paid version. This is number one. Number two is whoever gives a demo class. What is the reason behind that? You come to the main class and pay me. That's why I'm giving you the demo class. So it is not a free class. It's kind of a demo class. So what these free versions are doing, these free versions are number one, they are making the ads of their paid version. Number two, they are gathering information from you, that what kind of vulnerability you are having. Now, the only the person who can identify the vulnerabilities are the persons who are the dealers of the vulnerability. So it's a very common, the phrase that whoever creates a virus creates the antivirus. Rather, in other words, whoever creates the antivirus creates the virus. Otherwise, there will be no market for the antivirus. So it is absolutely a market process which is going on around us, having a huge set of data with them. This set of data is actually in a concept is called as a big data. It is called a big data processing, big data everything. So this huge data bank is created by these companies, it's not an individual. Always it is dealt with by a company or a group of people. So these guys are gathering those data and utilizing those data against us only. So be very cautious whenever you share any data. A very commonly used shared data is giving a photograph of your house where the nameplate is visible, number plate is visible, address plate is visible, and again the photograph of your brand new car or your car by which you have gone to a different place, you have gone to a vacation, the registration plate of the car. From that number, many data can be retrieved. Every time I just say that if I clarify somebody's Facebook account or if I clarify a person's social networking account, I can just write a 10-page, a 10-page paragraph. It's a story about that person. That much of data you just give in the social networking sites. Wherever we are going, whatever we are eating, whatever, who the person with us, the place, the location, the time, everything we are just giving. So you have got every possibility to get stalked. You have got every possibility. Now you'll be saying that from the car number, from the car registration number, how a person can be victimized. From the car registration number, you can identify that from which bank this car is financed. Possible? From M Parivahan, just go to the M Parivahan and you can find it out. From which bank this car is financed. Now they will give you a call, and getting your phone number is just a matter of a fingertip. So you will just give you a call and say, I'm the manager of the bank and I would like to talk about your car loan. So the information matches. Obviously, you will not make somebody a suspect. Can you identify that a single photograph of your car registration number, of your number plate, can make you vulnerable towards a phishing call? So that is our behavior, that is our way of utilizing these softwares, utilizing these applications, that how we are making ourselves vulnerable each and every time. Okay. So this is a very important thing we have to understand. Now let us come to the financial, the banking part. Uh, I mean, up to what time we'll be continuing this?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay, fine. So last 15 minutes I'll be keeping for the question answer session, but before that I'll be ending my discussion.
Okay.
What minute, Rajoshi? Not 15 minutes. You set up for the 30 minutes.
Okay, I'm
I
just
think
setting for that.
so many questions are
Okay.
there.
So from 5:30 it will be question answer session. Okay, fine.
Are you
So another
okay,
5.
Pooja?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Okay. So is it okay that what I'm telling everybody is understanding, and the uh, psychology behind all these things are why I'm concentrating more on psychology? Because telling each and every individual, each and every, suppose there are 1 lakh types of crimes, 1 lakh types of cyber crimes. In this 1 hour session, I'll be highly discussing about 10 types of crimes. So what will be the other types of crimes? Those crimes will be done by the same psychology, utilizing those same psychology. So better if we understand the psychology better, that why we are falling prey and why they are making us a prey. If we understand these two aspects, we can handle each and every situation, irrespective of whether it is a new type of crime. Sometimes I see that there are Facebook posts like new type of cyber crime is there. There is no new type of cyber crime. It is phishing. It is always a phishing. That is a new, that can be a new modus operandi. It is not a new crime. Crime is the phishing crime. So आप ऐसे मुर्गी ऐसे आप मतलब ऐसे आपसे पैसा नहीं लिया जा रहा है, सब लोग मतलब उसको समझ गया, तो हम लोग दूसरे तरीका अपना के पैसा लेंगे. So it's a different tariqa, it's not a different crime at all. So the concept must be very much clear in this point. So we have to understand this tariqa, the psychology behind all these tariqas. WhatsApp is going to ask in February a lot of permissions. How safe it is? Absolutely not safe. So I have already decided to move from WhatsApp to Telegram, and I'll be moving soon. So if you trust WhatsApp, then it's safe. Now, if one point of time you can say that WhatsApp has one news you will get, WhatsApp has lost all its data. It is not your problem, but it can be a problem with WhatsApp. So then you lose all your information. Now you decide what you will do. Actually, none of our WhatsApp of what? Which one is better, Telegram or Signal? Signal better, but Telegram, quasi better. The problem with this internet world is none of the system is a secured system. मतलब ये हम लोगों का बहुत सौभाग्य है कि जिसका पैसा अभी तक गया नहीं, बी वेरी श्योर वो भी एक दिन विल बी अ प्रे ऑफ सम क्राइम, होना ही है, सम वे और अदर आपको होना ही है. नाउ यू हैव टू डिसाइड, बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड that are you capable of handling that situation or not. Somebody tells me ki, if I say somebody ki, okay, I'm just asking you to do a workshop or a course or something like that for the general sensitization, that these are the vulnerability points you have, these are the general psychologies which have been used by the phishers and hackers against us, and you will understand and identify those vulnerabilities. So the person says, no, 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 it's not required for me because you are there. Now you just decide, suppose you get a call from a number. I think it is just such a big platform that many people has already fallen prey to this cyber crime. I hope, I think, I'm not sure, but I think many people has already fall prey of this cyber crime. Now for them, I am asking the question. Maybe you have got a good connection in the police, maybe you have got a good connection with the administration, whatever. How many of you have got the refund of the money? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of the people doesn't get the refund. Why? Yes, obviously you can. So what is the problem? That many people are not getting money back. So if you lose money, or if you have been if you are falling prey to a particular crime, a cyber crime, nobody can actually help you. So it is better to be very much secured before you get affected. Prevention is previously what we have heard. Prevention is better than cure. And in cybercrime, what is that? Prevention is the only cure. It is not better. Prevention is the only cure. So if we can cure ourselves, then we can only prevent ourselves. And by which way we can prevent ourselves? By the way of knowledge, by the way of getting sensitized, that these are the vulnerabilities we have, or these are the vulnerabilities we may have. So that's a projection. These types of vulnerabilities may come. So by that way, we can prevent ourselves from getting affected. You cannot stop the hackers. A hacker just sitting in a remote area of the country, in a corner of a room, there is no CC camera. You cannot find the hacker. You cannot find that person. If somebody is from the department of police, here, he can understand that how difficult it is to find a cyber criminal. And for that reason, and for that, we are only responsible. Why? I'm just telling you that. After that, I'll be coming to the question of the session. The first thing is, we just go on giving KYC to anybody. We're just giving the KYCs. Now, what is happening? With the help of these KYCs, fraudulently, somebody is taking a SIM card in our name. And that SIM card is sold to some other person. That person is selling to another person in a higher rate. And finally, it is reaching to the cyber criminal. And what is happening? That person is doing a phishing call. और ये phishing call में क्या हो रहा है? We are losing money. Suppose ये number भी trace. This is a very common thing कि when somebody has received a phishing call, have you seen that those numbers have been blocked? वो ऐसे ही चलता रहता है number. वो ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा. क्योंकि that has been already obtained in a wrong KYC. Is very sure कि पुलिस उसको trace ही नहीं कर पाएगा. Trace भी कर पाएंगे तो उसे क्या होगा? क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? Police will land to a different person. So these criminals are fraudsters are very much secured. और इसके लिए हम लोग ही responsible है. Difficulty with safety or comfort is getting PG पर नहीं पाए. Anyway, so we have to be very much secured. हम लोग को sensitize रहना है. हम लोग कोई भी सब्जेक्ट जाने ना जाने हम लोग को साइबर सेफ्टी जानना है और ये मैंडेटरी करना है सब जगह. It should be mandatory for the citizens of India, otherwise it is impossible to stop or restrict these types of crimes. कितना भी आप सिक्योरिटी फीचर्स बढ़ा ले, कुछ भी कर ले इन द सोशल नेटवर्किंग साइट्स, जितना भी आप मॉनिटरिंग बढ़ा ले, कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर को जितना सिक्योर्ड बना ले, you cannot do it because this is a settled thing in cyber crime history in the world, that 90% cyber crime happens for the user flaw and not for the system flaw. So we, the users, are the responsible factors for this all sorts of cyber crimes. We have to modulate our behavior. We have to modulate our online activities. Otherwise, it is impossible to handle these cyber crimes. And very briefly speaking, no system is secured. WhatsApp secure hai ki ye secure hai, wo secure hai. No, nobody is secured because everybody is accessing your information. How can we be so sure that this person will not leak and this person will leak? You have to give information. It is a settled principle. आपको देना ही है data. Of whether you trust that guy or not, that is the guiding factor. That is the factor कि आप पूछते हो कि ये secure है. Now let us come to the question. Let us come to the question session. Whoever typing the question, can you please tell me the question?
Now we start our interaction session.
Yes.
So now we start our interaction session, Rajeshri.
Yes, Didi.
So
Absolutely. You can start.
if you have any question, to unmute yourself.
Can I ask Rajeshri?
Yes, and please be a bit brief about your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
First
you.
of all, wonderful speech. I've heard you earlier, but what my saying is that it seems that it's an end game for everybody because WhatsApp, Facebook are asking you to update your data. Otherwise, they are going to stop it. You cannot enter the airport area without uploading number of apps like Arogya Setu and things like that. I mean, what is the end of this thing? Like senior citizens like us who are heavily dependent on this kind of apps. Of course, you might not buy something from the iZone, but this kind of a things that you cannot avoid. If you do not give the particulars to the bank, they will close your account. You have to give the KYC. You have to give the pension on the pension schemes, various kind of thing every year or sometime every 5 years. So what is the end story of that? I mean, what do we do? What do we do? Where do we go from here?
Yes. I'm audible.
Yes.
Actually, there is no end of this. Rather, this is the starting of it. So the first thing is we have to share information. Now, we have to understand about two things. Number one is our necessity and number two is our need. Again, the question of psychology comes here. Whether it is necessary. Now, you have asked me, you have sent me you have just, you're just telling about a thing that we have to do the Facebook. Now, is this Facebook is a necessity or a need? That you have to decide. And whether the pension scheme, the pension matter, that is necessity or need. So for the pension, it is necessity, it is not a need. Rice is a necessity, biryani is a need. So everything we have to decide in this way, that whether it is a necessity. Whether sending this information is necessary, whether clicking a photograph and sending it to Facebook is necessary. So these thing you have to decide. There is no formula for that. So you have to decide this thing, that the need factor and necessity factor. Otherwise, it is difficult to decide. And Didi, any other question? I think
there
very
are a lot of,
briefly I have just answered it.
so there are a lot of apps on the this thing smartphone or on the this thing which we cannot remove. It says either you know they don't give you that option. If you don't want to use that app, you can't remove it. You know, delete it like you said. It just says disable it or something like that, or force stop. So what does one do?
Force stop. Yes, you can give a force stop. So if it is not, some of the applications are pre-installed. Whenever you are purchasing a phone, it is pre-installed. So if it is a pre-installed, if it is not utilized, so you can just put a force stop on that. So now sometimes it shows that if you force stop it, this phone might not behave properly.
Correct. Yes.
Again, what is this company is doing? Again, this company is putting a fear factor inside you. So what is happening inside you? Okay, it not may behave properly. Have you tried whether it is behaving properly or not? Nobody of us tried.
Yeah,
so
right.
Just seeing that information that the phone may not behave properly, we just come out of that and we do not force stop. So again, a fear factor is injected inside.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, I got an information. There is, when you go to any mall nowadays, okay, like a Reliance or Big Bazaar or any other thing, all over the country, after you purchase and then going for the billing, then they will ask you for your mobile number. I don't know why, but it is compulsorily they will ask. And no, correct. But what will they do with our mobile numbers, each and every thousand, lakhs and lakhs and crores? And then I think they are also selling it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now what is happening with this? Now what is happening with this?
Can I ask you one question?
Sir, please answer this question, sir.
Yes, I am just answering this question. I have answered in previously also that some people, some company has a huge number of data.
Yeah.
And that is a data bank. And these companies are selling those data banks. I mean, to the
These people, they don't wait for one person to question. 4% will talk.
Hello, may I ask a question?
One question.
He's answering some question, please.
One by one, sir.
You all can raise your hands or you all can type your questions in chat box. Thank you.
Yes, am I unmuted? Okay. So these companies are selling those data, and the persons, suppose you are selling a poisonous thing. I mean, maybe used for the cleaner. Whether you will be using as a cleaner or you will be using for your suicide, that is not the problem with the product, right? It is the problem with the user, the person who is using that. So now everybody is using those products, and we are using now the company who is selling those data. Somebody is purchasing it, and after purchasing that, after purchasing that, how that will be treated or how that will be utilized, that's a different issue. That is the prerogative of the person who has purchased it. So it is difficult to say in this way that what this data has been done. But obviously this data has not been done for a good purpose, maybe for a good purpose and sometimes for a wrong purpose. That is for sure. Next question. Request you kindly. What is your opinion about the Truecaller business? Yes, Truecaller. Truecaller is again another private company and a software, and that Truecaller is not a system-based, caller identification system. It is not a system-based caller identification system. It is a user-based caller identification system, user feedback-based. If I save somebody's name as AAA, obviously his name will be shown as AAA to the other people. So that depends on my feedback. Whether his name is Ram, Rahim, or whatever, it doesn't matter because it goes to the user feedback, whatever user gives the feedback. So it's Truecaller, that's it. Then you said all the devices should be locked with the password. I have just missed it.
Yeah, few questions you have missed.
Yeah, I'm just
Scroll upwards. Yeah.
Can I please? How can I just go to the? How can I go to the questions? I mean, can you please read some of the important questions? What I have not discussed. How safe are the travel sites? Yes, travel sites. Again, there are many problems with the travel sites also. Now, there are certain technical problems also. In certain cases, there are technical problems. One of my a problem occurred with one of my very close friend. What happened? He was traveling somewhere, and the person, when he was returning back, before entering into the airport, just before entering into the airport, he received a message that all his, tickets have been cancelled at his own request. Banking apps in Android mobile. Coming to the point. So all the tickets have been cancelled, and that too by himself. What happened? He was using a free Wi-Fi. So when he was using a free Wi-Fi, somebody hacked into the system, and he just went to the email and seen that there was no gain. Hacking जो करता है वो तो किसी ना किसी कारण के लिए करेगा. Sometimes they do for nothing. So if somebody is how private browsing PC more secure, is private browsing in PC more secure? Secure in which respect? It cannot be monitored. Yeah, WhatsApp like a बहुत question है sir. It is endless questions. I'm just coming to the app. I have already told it कि WhatsApp, Facebook कुछ भी आप कीजिए तो it's all a matter of trust कि आपको WhatsApp में रहना है कि नहीं रहना है. It doesn't matter actually to WhatsApp because WhatsApp is such a big market. In spite of having so much of vulnerabilities, maybe possible vulnerabilities. मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि this is a vulnerability, this is a settled vulnerability, but whatever, मैं ये बोलूंगा कि मैं आपको ये कर सकता हूँ, वो कर सकता हूँ, ये कर सकता हूँ. तो if I say everybody everything like that, मैं सब कुछ कर सकता हूँ. So आप वो जान के भी हमको ट्रस्ट करेंगे कि नहीं ट्रस्ट करेंगे, that is your call. तो there is no proper answer कि whether it is safe or not, whether it is unsafe. तो आप सब कुछ ट्रस्ट करते हैं, आप गूगल को क्या नहीं देते, फिर आप ट्रस्ट करते हैं उनको. दैट इज वाई आपके पास, आप किसी ने तो ये पूछा नहीं कि गूगल सेफ है कि नहीं. नाउ व्हाट्सएप हैज चेंज्ड इट्स प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी, सो एवरीबॉडी वेंट ऑन आस्किंग मी व्हाई व्हाट्सएप सेफ है कि ये सेफ है कि वो सेफ है. आपने व्हाट्सएप को क्या नहीं दिया आज तक व्हाट्सएप को आपने क्या नहीं दिया. और आपका ऑलरेडी बैकअप चालू है, तो वो बैकअप तो व्हाट्सएप के पास ऑलरेडी है। नया क्या हो रहा है? व्हाट्स न्यू? आपको बोल दिया कि we will be gathering information, we will be selling it, we will be gathering information, we will be processing information, we may sell information, we can do anything we want. आपको यह बोल दिया इसलिए आप टेंस्ड हो गए। आपको पहले नहीं बोला था, आप सेम चीज ही तो कर रहे थे। आप तो नया कुछ नहीं कर रहे, मतलब nobody is doing anything new. You have already shared your personal credentials, you have already shared your personal videos, personal moments, personal everything, personal data, personal banking credentials. किसी के साथ भी कोई भी personal talk, everything is backed up there. आपके पास बैकअप चालू है, तो दो इट्स एन एंड टू एंड एनक्रिप्टेड थिंग, आपके पास बैकअप चालू है तो वो बैकअप ऑलरेडी हो गया है। व्हाट्सएप चाहता है तो वो यूटिलाइज कर सकता है, but there is a direction. And why there is a direction? Because India is going to very soon, हो सकता है कि after this entire process, India is going to have the data protection and privacy law. उसी के बेस वर्क बनाने के लिए ही व्हाट्सएप ये चीज बनाया। ओके, सो प्ले स्टोर से व्हेन वी वांट टू डाउनलोड द प्ले स्टोर वॉन्ट्स, परमिशन बहुत सोच समझ के दीजिएगा। परमिशन टू एवरी एप्स यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड। ओला को फोटो दिखाने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है, तो जस्ट गो टू द सेटिंग्स, ओला वाला सेटिंग्स, और वहां पे जाके यू क्लिक ऑफ द मेक द फोटोज वीडियोस। हाउ टू ब्लॉक ऑटो डाउनलोड, सेटिंग्स में जाके आपको सॉफ्टवेयर आई मीन मैसेंजर एंड व्हाट्सएप का सेटिंग्स में जाके आपको ऑटो डाउनलोड ऑफ करना है। लेट मी जस्ट शो यू कहाँ पे है ये व्हाट्सएप वाला सेटिंग्स। WhatsApp वाला settings में, if you go to the WhatsApp settings, if you just can see this, if you can see this, I think it is you will find a storage and data. So in the storage and data, you can off the auto download option. Okay, so it's there. Any more questions? There are many questions actually.
Yeah, there is some mobile banking related questions.
Mobile banking related question. Never share your OTP, password, and any data to anybody, number one. And number two is put a licensed antivirus and anti-malware application active in your device. This is a primary, the shielding, what can shield you. Okay, and किसी को भी कोई भी डेटा देने के पहले you have to think 100 times कि हम ये डेटा शेयर करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे। Okay, so be very sure कि you are not sending to a wrong guy. Okay, so otherwise mobile banking, online banking, UPI applications, everything is safe, everything is secured. We make ourselves insecure by our own behaviors. Repeatedly, I'm telling this. No system is 100% secured, and no system is completely unsecured. It has got a balancing. कोई कम secured है, कोई ज़्यादा secured है, but no application is 100% secured. और किसी के साथ कोई खराब नहीं हुआ, that doesn't mean that application is 100% secured. आज कोई भी एक एप्लीकेशन के साथ, आज कोई भी एक एप्लीकेशन ये नहीं हुआ, मतलब हैक्ड नहीं हुआ, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि ये सिक्योर्ड है। किसी का घर पे आज तक चोरी नहीं हुआ, इसका मतलब नहीं है कि दैट इज अ वर्ल्ड बैंक का वॉल्ट है, मतलब चोर उस घर को चूज नहीं किया, दैट्स व्हाई चोरी नहीं हुआ। तो दिस इज समथिंग लाइक दैट कि चोर ने चूज नहीं किया उसको, तो आज कल चूज कर ही सकता है। और मे बी फॉर द अदर सॉफ्टवेयर, दिस सॉफ्टवेयर का जो इनहेरेंट सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम है वो और भी लूज है, बट हो सकता है कि चोर ने उसको चूज नहीं किया। तो ये बोलना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है कि किसका सिक्योरिटी लेवल कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग है। आज आप ये सोचिए ना, फॉर दी आरोग्य सेतु ऐप, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग कि आरोग्य सेतु ऐप आप इंस्टॉल भी अनइंस्टॉल भी कर देंगे, इट कैन स्टोर योर डेटा फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट। नाउ हम इसको बिलीव क्यों करते हैं गवर्नमेंट? यस, anybody was telling
there
something?
because any more question is there, because we are at the end of the session, only 5 minutes more. I think only 5 minutes more.
Okay,
Sujay
Mr. Alawat wanted to ask the
yeah,
question. Yes,
one
sir.
question.
प्राइवेट ब्राउजिंग सिक्योर्ड है, थोड़ा सा प्राइवेट ब्राउजिंग सिक्योर्ड है, मतलब ये थोड़ा सा इजी है, मतलब उसको ट्रेस करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट।
So a couple of times while receiving a phone call from abroad, an Indian mobile number comes as the caller. Instead, sometimes the actual number will come, but number of times an Indian mobile number comes as if that is the number which is calling. And then I also get I've got messages once, twice on the side that in case such a thing is happening, then report to so and so. So
report to the electronics and telecommunication department.
Yes, something like that. So what is happening?
Yes. You can just complain there to the electronics and telecommunication department, whatever is your problem. These are normally some technical issues happen. So this is not always a criminal problem.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Yes, maybe some technical issues, they will sort it out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Nagaraj wanted to ask something. Yeah.
Yes. Somebody asked for the do's and don'ts.
No, hello.
Do's and don'ts is a kind of a book हो जाएगा इसमें। मैं ये do's and don'ts नहीं देना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि ये do's and don'ts मतलब कभी खत्म ही नहीं होगा, और this is very boring. तो मेरे ख्याल से ना आप लोग, मैं जो साइकोलॉजीज बोले हैं, ये साइकोलॉजीज को थोड़ा ध्यान में रखिए। दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन साइकोलॉजीज। आपका फियर, आपका आनंद, आपको जानने का इच्छा, ये थोड़ा सा संभाल के रखिए। देन ओनली यू विल बी सेफ फ्रॉम एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ क्राइम, एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ साइबर क्राइम।
सर,
इसमें आपका डूज एंड डोंट्स का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा।
सर,
यस,
this social media, the meeting apps, no, like Zoom, Google Meet, etc. How safe they are? How secure they are?
Yes, from the very beginning, I am saying that nobody is secured. Nothing is secured. Nothing. Absolutely nothing is secured. But in some cases, we try to make it secured by putting some passwords, putting something, some firewalls, keeping some softwares inside our devices, in our devices. And by that way, we try to make some, try to make a wall around this security feature. So that much we can do. And by usage, we can make the thing secured. Otherwise, if you see that the Zoom itself is compromised, then it is not our fault. This is not the user's fault. So it happened. Maybe it happened. There were controversies regarding that. So it's very difficult to say that what is. There is no secured system actually. Actually, there is no secured system around us.
Well, is the professional this Zoom and Google Meet and all, are they secure? More secure than the free system?
No,
free,
anything free is not secured. Anything free is not secured. This is for sure.
Yeah.
This is for sure. That says anything free is not secured.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are end of the session. I think we are. Any more question? Any more question is there? So I request Dr. Gautam Bhaduri, our senior citizen member, Dr. Gautam Bhaduri, Gautam da, please you give the thank you to our HO team, whole HO team, Rajyasree, and all of our members. You please go for thank you. Say thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Ruma has given me the opportunity to conclude this session with a valediction. Somebody once said that you have brains in your head, feet in your shoes, so you can go anywhere you like. This quote really goes well with what we can do online today. Thanks, Rajarshi, for your valuable message. What you said, everything we learned that we should try to use in future and never be a risk taker. Thank you, Dignity. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ruma, once again. We should be ready to start a new and a new cyber life. Thank you, Dignity, and thank you, Rajesh, once again. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, everybody, and Happy New Year to everybody. Be safe and secured and be cyber secured. So thank you so much. Rumadi, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much.
May I request lastly Dr. Sujay Joshi, please cooperate with us and say some few words about this program, how it was.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Rajesh. That was wonderful. I think what you tried to focus is on more on your psychology, that is more important rather than giving 100 examples of fraud. So, it's really great. All our fear, happiness, all those emotions we need to, be in control, and nothing is secure in this world. And we have already given all the information with the big companies like Google and Facebook.
Right.
Yeah. So it was really lovely. It was the first of its kind of a session at All India level, and we're really thankful to you for sparing some time with us. We will, those who have missed this session, we will share this recording of the session on our YouTube channel called Dignity Performing Arts with all our Chai Masti members who can go back and again listen to Rajarshi, if you have missed anything. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely. Wonderful.
Wonderful session, I think, and I give thanks to Sunil ji and Rajesh ji, our HO team, whole HO team. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, our dignitarian members. You give the time for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, everybody.